to talk about this tonight because I actually don't think I've thought about it in this way before. But when I started using oils 7 years ago, I had two preteen stepsons and two kids. One was 8 months and one was 1.5. So since then, we've added a fifth kid to that mix, and then everyone's obviously grown about 7.5 years. So I have just had an amazing privilege of doing that. I've also parented through private school, public school, and homeschool. And I was a teacher when I started for the first year of using oils. So just didn't ever think about that before because, quite honestly, this topic to me was near and dear to my heart when I was the parent of two toddlers, right? Like, this is something that is just important because the season, and I don't mean fall, if you're watching this recording internationally, we're not really talking about back to school as in it needs to be August or September. This is whenever you start the season of like, there's a break in life. And now you're going back to a time where you're surrounded by people, surrounded by change, and really surrounded by a routine. I'll also tell you guys, just from personal kind of a testimonial of right now in my life, my kids are about to have the opportunity to be ready for school about 2 hours before they got up this year. And so I'm looking at that as an opportunity to change and alter the routine that we currently have, because the routine and the structure will determine their success. And that is a thing that we're talking about tonight more than any other part of this. The takeaway is whatever you decide you can handle as far as all these options we're going to give you for oils and supplements and all the routines, really choose what you want to do and be all in with it all year. Be all in with it all year, because you will see progress over time. And you will also see that long term, the way that our oils work in our bodies and the way our supplements work is they actually are going to clean out toxins in our bodies and bind to our cell receptor sites that will give us new life, new energy, new ways of truly communicating between different organ systems in our body. And you won't be able to see that in a week. Kind of like with weight loss, they say you can see in 8 weeks, right? You can see in 8 weeks, other people can see it in 4 months, or how long is that, guys? At least 16 weeks. So I would not say that is my disclaimer that that's how long it takes to work. But what I will tell you is a lot of us don't notice something's working until it's a drastic difference. So we don't actually notice the small changes right away. So tonight, some people are going to share testimonials of like, I applied this and in one instant it worked. And some people are going to share testimonials of this year to this year, here's the difference in my kiddo. So we will navigate through all of that. We are going to have a whole lot of fun together. There are 6 of us on here sharing, and we are all seasoned Young Living members, but we're also people involved in some aspect in schooling. So our experience is not necessarily the same. And that is what is beautiful. So we are going to take less than an hour, maybe right at an hour. But the why we're doing this again is to keep everyone healthy and to keep them safe. And not because this is a political statement at all, but we truly believe your body's best protection against the world is to be healthy and whole, and believe it can be healed, and believe it can live in a state of vibrant wellness, and always above that line of wellness where we can always constantly improve 1%. There's a study done, what's been redone several times, but done again in the past 2 years, about what happens when your body gets exhausted in a race. And it reminds me of your immune system. So when you get exhausted in a race and you are like, okay, well, I can't really go anymore. It's always been said that your body could do 20% more, because your body will do what your mind tells it to. And there was an amazing study. It's one of the European countries. I honestly don't know at this point, but they moved the finish line of a marathon 20% more miles. They moved it to the 50K mark, and everyone kept the same pace that they were at the 26-mile mark through the 32-mile mark. And I'm like, our bodies, do you guys realize our bodies will do that? All the way down to the cellular level. They will perform 20% more if they are properly hydrated and fueled and properly detoxed. That's really why I wanted to just give that anecdotal story, is our bodies are amazing and our minds are probably really screwed up. But you know what? We're going to work on that tonight too. Sorry if that offended anyone, but I want you to think about that. Your body is probably way more vibrantly healthy than your mind allows you to think of it. So your mind warps a lot of this back to school stuff into fear or like overcompensating or being confused or like being like uber, like the binder my kid's touching has BPA. Well, we're not going to help you with that tonight. As far as like your kid's binder having BPA, that's okay. What we are going to help you with is the things you can have in your control. And we're not going to talk about the things that you can't. So all these things are things you can order, make, and go and set yourself up for success in your mind so that your body will respond with joy and with health to those stressful situations, whatever they look like for the type of school or type of season you're entering. So I am not a doctor. No one else on here is a doctor. Let me look around. Maybe they are, but nobody teaching is a doctor. We are not here to diagnose, treat, prescribe, or cure, but we are here for educational and informational purposes only. What we'll be giving you is real information we know from tried and true usage, from testimonials from friends, and also from research we know has been done within our community and has been something that we'd say is proven to be true as far as usage. So we are going to share from our hearts. We're also going to share from experience and from what we know is safe usage on the bottles of product we're going to talk about. So children thrive in routine. Back to that, allow them to be part of this experience. So I just ran upstairs and I may or may not have slightly been yelling at my kids because I want them to like, my husband right now is working outside. They're like running around, jumping on him, being completely crazy. And I apply peace and calming, and they're like fighting and punching. Point is, that's why I still have my hair in a ponytail, because the routine I created is chaos. Because this summer they've been going to bed at dark 30 plus 2 hours. So dark 30, where I live, is great rule of thumb. But when it's dark 30 plus 2 hours, I get crazy children. And that's my fault because I've not provided the structural routine I do on a normal basis. So tonight we're going to talk about that. And from me in the bottom of my heart, I'll tell you the oils work at nighttime. The supplements we use work at nighttime, but they have to be within a routine that my children know, accept, and is done wherever we are. On vacation, the season, whatever it is, it's done. So even on the weekend, guys, even if it's a later time period, what I did tonight, the mass chaos of like, hurry up and do this. On the weekend, I just am a later version of what I do in the weeknights. I don't make it this like, everyone sleep on the couch and go to bed when you want, because it doesn't work for kids. They do not thrive in that environment. So kids with oils, they will learn to apply their own roll-ons. They can do their morning and evening routine by themselves. I mean, my kids are probably doing that 2 or 3 years old. And helicopter mamas, let me speak to you. Take a deep breath and empower your children to take ownership. They can prepare their own Ningxia Red shot. They can dump out their Mighty Bites in their hand. They can open up their kids' unwind. They can put their kids' scents toothpaste on their toothbrush. They can switch around the Thieves mouthwash in their mouth. They can also have oils in their book bags for school and be accountable for applying them. They have to be taught this sense of independence because that will give them ownership over their own health. And that starts at a really young age, where it's not, let's run to the doctor or let's run to mom. It's actually, let's run to the resource we know is tried and true. So my 9-year-old just walked downstairs, and this will just be fun. Avery, if you feel like you can't sleep, what oil do you apply?
Peace and calming.
Peace and calming. Do you do that yourself?
Yeah.
Cool. For how long? Like how many years, or how long have you been doing that?
It sounds like 3.
Yeah, because you know what? You teach them, right? I'm not perfect. I'm sure none of us on here are perfect, but I will tell you the structure in your family with adding all these things on only works if you get the buy-in from your family. So you are not the oil fairy. You're not the supplement fairy. You probably really can't be that for every single person, but you can teach them and help them structure so it matters. Same thing with any routine with kids, right? I've learned I'm really bad at most of them. Probably Wendy is smarter, or Tracy. Maybe some of y'all also moms with younger kids. Maybe y'all are too, but I'm just saying for me, I know I'm bad at most routines as far as school and kind of like that structure of repetition. But reading, I know, is important. So even if it's 10 p.m. when my kids go to bed, once you can read, you read for an hour. If you went to bed later than you could read for an hour, I'm so sorry, but you'll just be tired, because for me, that's what you're doing. And again, don't have to agree with my parenting. I think I'm telling you guys that if it's a standard in your home to take Super C every day, as we'll talk about, it's just what you do. It's not like an optional thing or it tastes too orangey. You are like, we take Super C every day. So they chew their Super C, and until it's gone from the counter, when you either put it out or they put it out, you can't really move past, right? It's not like can't go, right? The car won't start basically after that moment. So really wanting to drill that in as we go on, because a lot of us will set ourselves up with discipline for success. We do the same with our kids. And as you hear this, you're gonna be like, this is a lot of information, but know that kids thrive in structure. Also, organizing and labeling things helps. My oil stash is most of the time a hot mess. I can't seem to find what I need, which is frustrating for morning routines. So I tend to cluster group things like here's what we use in the morning. Everybody has the oils at bedtime. So I'm not a great label and organizer. So I have to set myself up for success. So think about your personality and how that'll work. Don't be afraid to pick a new system and go with it whenever needed. So Young Living, and just really quickly with this, and thank you for coming tonight. If you're brand new to our family, Young Living has what we call Seed to Seal. And Seed to Seal is more than a system. It's a promise. It's a promise that our products were created by our founder, dear Gary Young, and he created them on purpose. He created them for a purpose and not for a profit. And every single element of our process, from the time and moment that the seed is planted into the ground, all the way up to the third trial testing when the bottle is being sealed, we guarantee that it's not only organic, but beyond the organic process. It is something that is going to just touch your heart when you learn about our farms. You're able to visit where you can touch, taste, see, smell, be part of labor, where you see that some of our oils that come from plants that don't even ever touch the ground, that they're harvested at a certain time of day and dew point and humidity. And they are spoken to with love and kindness, because that energetically changes the way a plant behaves. And that might sound weird if you're like, where is she going? But I want you to understand something. Our plants are taken care of in a way that they honor your body. And in your body, oils are going to act the same way as they do in the plant. They have three jobs: to heal, restore, and protect in the plant, and they mimic those jobs in your body. They also are able to go into your skin in a matter of 26 seconds, travel to every cell in your body in about 20 minutes, and one drop contains 40 million trillion molecules. Mind-blowing fact. That's more molecules in one drop than cells in your body. And when that happens, they go in and they act with little scrub brushes and clean up the cell receptors on your cells so that good things can get in, like antioxidants, and bad things like toxins and like cellular waste and free radicals can get out. Kind of like exfoliation is what Avery just said. It's going to wash it out in a way, and it might not be visible, but it will have an effect long term. We also are the world leader in essential oils. Our founder was one of the only known noses, which means he could smell essential oils and detect their healing properties, their molecular properties, and all of the different constituents in it just from smelling it. He was a wild crafter, and that's what our company's built on, which meant going through and in Croatia, when you find helichrysum, that helichrysum is known for so many great medicinal values, and we would as a company benefit from him wildcrafting or finding it in its native form. Our farm in Ecuador, our farms all over the world, specifically there, we have so many things like peppermint and ylang ylang, plants we're familiar with, but in their native environment, which is what we do as a company, we grow them in their native environment. They are like 10 times bigger than what I've ever seen them in my native environment, which is Chesapeake, Virginia. So I want to convey to you that you want the best. You're the gatekeeper of your home. We'll hear more about that later. But you're making such a good choice tonight by giving your time and saying yes to the next step of health and the next step for your family. And that next step might have something to do with school, but maybe you're here because it's just a need that you have, and we're going to help you fill it. So great health for you includes great health for your kids. But remember, all of our society around us can benefit from having these oils in every home and having these supplements and these products and these self-care and home care things long term. They will help your life. And we are so excited to get more into not necessarily the science tonight, but what the products are and how to use them. So pumped to hand this over to my friend Allison. She's going to chat with us about the preschool age kid, the school age or elementary school age kid, and what to do for them.
Hey guys, it was such great information. I was laughing as you were telling about the schedule or the structure of the children. It's my kid's birthday today, and they were like super energized, but we still tried to have like an okay bedtime so I could do this call. And they were running like elephants upstairs, but now they're sleeping, so it's perfect. But they also know, I like the other part about the peace and calming when Avery was talking about it, because my kids know too. I have like the little kid scent roller collection upstairs. And so they know if they, have the sniffles, some of the things I'm going to talk about tonight, they know which color of the rainbow to take. So I just love that. So anyways, I'm Allison. I have 3 kids. If you don't know, I have a new 8-year-old as of today, a 6-year-old, and a new 5-year-old as of last week. August is very busy in the birthday world for us. So, but I have 2 school-age children and a preschooler. I've had preschoolers for a very long time. I'm finally coming out of that chapter a little bit. But I think that the most important thing for the preschoolers is just like a really good sleep. And that is easier than said. I'm going to talk like a grain of salt. We do the best we can. Not every night is perfect. This is not a solid thing that you will have like no wake ups, you will have all the things. It's not like that. You have to kind of figure out what your jam is. But I will tell you that more than not, this has been a game changer for us. So a few of them that we like to really work, and this also goes for the young school age kids, which I'm more specific talking to, is just having that bedtime routine. And I have noticed a big change when we kind of started doing the supplements. So I'm going to talk about those because that's our jam in our household. My kids love doing, if you read the comments, my kids love doing the supplements. They love putting them all out in their own pill box. In the summer, they kind of got super sweaty and gross because we don't have air conditioning. So now we just take them from the bottle. That was a lot of information, but I'm just being real. So anyways, so they open these up and then they just kind of take what they need and they like help their sister and brothers out, and they just love it, like owning their own health. I think it's such a great thing. And they also take our multivitamins to us as well from my pill box, and then my husband takes like the little package. So anyways, so up first is Mighty Bites. That's the multivitamin. My kids take 2. I think it's recommended more than that, but I like budget friendly items. So we find that 2 is enough for our kids. They take a little bit more just because I have some picky eaters. So I want to make sure that we get all the good stuff in it. I love it because it has, for instance, vitamin C, vitamin D. It has, I'm just going to verify my information. That's why I'm looking on the back, but zinc, which is like super important in winter and fall and right now. So that's great. I love how much they have the vitamin B. That's really great for behaviors. A lot of times you will find that there's a mineral deficit with kids and adults, let's be honest, that have more tantrums or more whininess or more all the things that can't necessarily change over and transition as well. So magnesium is super important, that zinc, and then vitamin B. So I love that they have all of that in here. The next up is a Mighty Zyme, which is the kid approved line that has it's for digestion, so an enzyme support. So again, I just put out there that my kids are picky eaters. We do the best we can, but some nights are better looking and more colorful than others. So I love the fact that we can kind of just help our tummies and our system work as it should and kind of get out the yuck stuff. And so my kids take 1 a day. If you have I have one child that has a lot of difficulties in this department, and we have found when we up our Mighty Zymes, like 1 after every meal or double dose, like 2 at 1 meal, it really helps him stay consistent on the poop scale. Let's just be honest. So same thing with adults, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I love my enzyme support for the same thing. So why am I not helping my child out in that category? So we do Mighty Zymes. So my one that has more difficulty takes at least 1 more than the others. And then the other ones who have a pretty good digestive system in that department take 1 just to make sure that we can clear out all the stuff that is not as excellent in our diet as we would like. And then somebody just asked about the Mighty Bites for their toddler. I will let you know that I started these pretty young. I kind of they're chewable, which I really like. They're not the gummies, which is great for oral health, to not have the gummies. So I love that they're chewable. And then we started when they basically could chew. like in their, like, I think they were 18 months, I think. And I just cut it in like quarters and then gave like a little bit. And then I upped it to a half. And then I basically gave one until they turned 5. But I basically just kind of made up the 5 rules so I could budget friendly. So you do what feels right for you. It is, the thing says recommended for 4 to 12-year-olds, but I did honestly give them younger because I felt it was okay for us to do that. Same thing with the My Designs. They're chewable, they're easily cuttable. So I did the same thing for them. And I started these at like 2. So yeah, so these are our favorite. I will say that we give vitamin C, the Super C chewable tablets too, especially for my kids that go to school, because who knows what's going on there in any world. So I'm very, very diligent about that. They get 1 chewable tablet a day, and I take at least 2 in being in healthcare, just as an FYI. But so the other thing, I'm telling you, I'm all about supplements, especially with the preschool school age, and I'm sure it's to boot up the scale. But I love the Mighty Pro. We are never without this since they came out in convention. I don't even know, like maybe 2-3 years ago, no idea. But this is so good. We take it after dinner or with dinner, and then before bed, and it really just kind of helps settle the tummy. I honestly think it kind of calms them down in a way too, but it has a prebiotic and a probiotic, which is very, very helpful for digestion and health and immunity. It again is powered with the wolfberry, which is a Ninja Red. If you guys don't know what Ninja Red is, it is an excellent antioxidant drink that I've given my kids since probably about 18 months as well. It's pretty much the only juice that they have. They would have all of it if they could, but we really kind of cap it at 2 ounces. Sometimes they have it with orange juice. Sometimes they have it with the other supplement that I was going to talk about that I don't have, the Unwind, which I'll get to. And sometimes they'll pair it with CBD oil as well if we're having like a real tough time with kind of focusing during school. I have boys that are very, very busy. And so sometimes it is more difficult to focus in school. So we do have a tendency to kind of put some stuff in our Ninja Red to kind of help tone it in, right? Maybe I should have had it before this because I feel like I'm squirreling all over the place. But anyway, so we have 1 pack. I love how, if you don't know anything about these, they're single serve. They don't need to be refrigerated. They're perfect. I honestly travel with these. I'll be taking them next week when I finally get to go to Gold Retreat and see the farms. Guys, if you can get to the farms, you need to get to the farms because that is the best part of this, being able to see everything that is made. And I'm so pumped to get back to the farms. So I'm going to be taking and traveling with these, stealing them from my children. But we have them every night, back to what I'm talking about. And then Unwind, which I don't have, which is another single stick that came out last year. It is like a calming supplement. It has some really good stuff in it that I'm sure that Tracy could help me put in the big words typed correctly into the comments. But the main thing I'll tell you is that it has magnesium, and that's the reason we have it, because again, as if you remember, I said most behaviors and tantrums and all the things are because of a mineral deficit, and it's almost always associated with magnesium. Same thing with adults. If you have a kid that has like restless like legs, or they're growing at a certain pace, magnesium is super helpful for that as well. So Unwind is very, very beneficial. So we take it anytime we remember during the day, honestly. We've been pretty good about it even over the summer months, but we make sure we have it in the morning, typically with school, but really we just do things when we remember them around here. And we pair it with, I have one that can kind of just down it, but it's a very strong flavor, I will be honest. And then the rest of them get it in yogurt, any type. And then occasionally, we, as I said, we'll put it in Ninja Red. So it's better to mix one packet with a bunch of water or Ninja Red or any juice that you take, or yogurt. We find we have very big success with the yogurt in my house with that. So that is just beneficial. I really do see a change with the Unwind, and I do love it. So basically, we are very diligent about the supplement return because that's sleep, that's digestion, that's behaviors, and that all kind of helps you learn better. And then regarding the school age, some that like preschool school age, I will just target that. A lot of times it's just kind of getting used to going or being away from mom and dad or your parent or guardian. And so I love the Kid Power to kind of help give you that confidence. This is the big guy, but there is a roller, so you can kind of just easy peasy it on. And then that just kind of helps them be okay to separate. I know people that have done white Angelica or Stress Away that they love. You put it on your wrist, a little diffuser bracelet sometimes we'd go with, or a necklace. I'll probably put it in my daughter's hair as she goes back to school. She's been home with us during the pandemic and COVID, and she's gonna go back to school. So I'm sure she's gonna have some difficulty separating from all of us because it's been a bit. So we are gonna be definitely doing all of those things. And then I will say that my tip of the trade is before we go to school is that I literally bring the roller, that there's a little Oilers roll-on collection box, and there's also this one. But I bring this to the bus stop and I say, what do you need, boys? And then they pull them out. So I don't know if anyone else is going to talk about this, but this will be the last thing I'll talk, and then somebody else can go on. But it's the blue is Sniffle Ease, and so it's for sniffles. So if they're feeling a little sniffly and they want to, help out, they just roll this on their chest, back of the neck. This is a game changer in our house, tummy jives. We use this all the time. Someone has an upset tummy due to all the things, really. They love using this, and they just roll it on their belly button, sometimes too much. I'm like, we don't need that much, guys. Then Owie for all the bumps and knocks and the craziness that happens in my house. We use Owie a lot. And helichrysum, as Ashley talked about earlier, that's another good one to have in those situations for the littles. So we have Owie, and then Genius, which is the focus blend. It's the orange oil, as my kids call it, and they put it on before school on the back of the head. We do cedar wood dropped on the top of their head as well to kind of help focus. It's very high in sesquiterpenes. I probably mispronounced that word because I'm trying to hurry. But anyways, if you don't know what that is, look it up. It is super beneficial for brain health and kind of just setting the tone and helping keep the focus going. And then finally, Sleepy Eyes. Obviously, they don't use this one at the bus stop, but they do use it at nighttime. But I literally do this, and they usually pick Kid Power and Genius and roll it all up and down everywhere, and then go off and have a great day, ideally, right? So those are kind of like, I feel like those are my must-haves for the preschool and the younger school age kids. And I look forward to learning from the rest of you all so I can prepare for the future. I am going to hand it off to my next friend, which I don't know who it is. I'm so sorry because I don't have my information up here. I apologize. But anyways, whoever it is wonderful. I am doing it with some fantastic ladies. So I'm going to pass it off to you. Thank you.
Hey, it's Tracy here. So I'm going to be talking about middle school and high school. And I'm going to be real honest. This is like actually one of my favorite ages. I love this like middle school, high school age. It's like they are still a little bit of a child, but they're growing into a young adult. And it's like such a great time because it's like we just have different experiences with them. But let me just tell you, when it comes to back to school, I feel like there's a couple of things, right, that are kind of common thread in this age group. One, especially with back to school, is sort of like that anxiousness because you're going to the big school, right? Whether you're, going into 6, right? Or maybe you're going into high school. Like I've got a freshman going into high school. There's a little bit of this anxiousness and like uncertainty, and I don't know. And I feel like littles will feel this too, but sometimes with your teenagers, you've got the anxiousness mixed in with the hormones. So I'm going to tell you definitely one of my faves, and you may have heard of Valor before, but Valor is amazing for those jitters. I use it all the time. It's got a combination of your black camphor, camphor wood, blue tansy, frankincense, geranium, black spruce. We call it our brave oil. And what we do is we just kind of apply it to our wrist or right on, the neck. We can smell it. Smells so good, but it really does help to quell the anxiousness that kids can feel. And Valor is actually great to use on any age, but I feel like especially for the guys, the kiddos who are, going up to the big school, this can be one to really use. It also helps to, balance the energy, or like, think about it, right? Like at this age, they're starting to do like presentations in front of the class, they might serve in like leadership roles. And so this is a really good one. It's like courage in a bottle and really essential, I feel like, for this, for the teenagers to have in their oily arsenal. Another one that I absolutely love is Endoflex. So Endoflex is really great in particular because this age group is dealing with what? Hormones, right? I mean, it can start as early as like 4th and 5th grade, but I typically find, especially around 7th and 8th grade, leading all the way up to like 9th and 10th grade, it's really kind of coming on. And so I love Endoflex. So Endoflex is a combination of spearmint, sage, geranium, myrtle, German chamomile, and nutmeg. So what does it do? It just helps to support like a healthy thyroid function. So everything from hormones to metabolism to adrenals, in particular with high schoolers, right? The workload, the sports, there's so many demands, right? And they're still fairly young. They're not quite an adult yet, but they kind of have adult-like responsibilities. Sometimes they even have jobs, right? And so a lot of it can really lead to burnout, fatigue, and all of this other stuff. So that's why I really like Endoflex, especially for the teenage years. But I'll tell you that I still use Endoflex myself. It is fantastic. So really helps to support, like I said, thymus, thyroid, adrenal, helps the body's natural metabolic function, okay? But in particular for teenagers, really just great for them. So you can do a couple of things with Endoflex. So this one is it's a vitality oil. So you can put a drop on your tongue. It's a little strong in flavor. You could even put a roller top and just kind of put it on that way or put it in the diffuser. But I really do feel like this is an essential one to have for everyone. Teenagers, I still take it, right? And I'm in my 40s, just for that overall hormone support. The other thing that I find, and this is especially going to be for girls, is going to be like just the emotions, right, that often come with menstruating. I mean, this is the time when girls are starting to menstruate, and with that comes the dragon, right? The moodiness and sort of that feeling like, I don't know what's going on. I just feel so moody, right? Or you're cranky or whatever. I mean, I still get this. And so that's why Dragon Time is fantastic. So this one is a blend with fennel, clary sage, marjoram, lavender, blue yarrow, which gives it that blue hue, and jasmine. So it's like herby and sweet because you've got the jasmine in there. It really does help to like stabilize that moodiness. So let me just tell you, you can diffuse, you can put in your hands, right? And just smell directly, but you know where the sweet spot is for Dragon Time. So on the outer part of your ankle, right above that ankle bone, you put Dragon Time right there. Let me just tell you, Dragon Time has totally saved my life when I felt the dragon coming out. But this is a really good one to help our young ladies to feel like they're in control, right? Feel like they can handle and deal with the moodiness and the emotions that kind of come with becoming a young woman, right, with their cycles. So this one's really, really great for all the girls to have. But like I said, even us ladies who are older, right, in our 40s, 30s, and 40s can still use it. The other thing that I find with middle school and teenagers is, let me just tell you, maybe this is like with the littles too, but getting them to eat the right things. This can be such a huge challenge, right? Because there's sports, they're in school, there's influences, right? Their friends are wanting to eat fast food and drink sugary sodas. So it can be really challenging because it's sort of them wanting to have their independence, but you also trying to instill those healthy habits within them. So this is why I think it's so important. You heard Ashley and Allison already talking, like getting them into the habit of taking their supplements and starting them off when they're little, right? Really sets them up later so that they're used to it. Like my kids have been taking supplements for years. And so it's like nothing. They know they need to take their supplements, especially when they're feeling off. So one supplement that I absolutely love just to ensure that my kiddos are getting the energy and the protein that they need. Like I am obsessed with this. You can see my kiddos have like cut out, not where it's supposed to be cut out, but this is called Pure Protein Complete. So this is a protein powder. So in particular, if you've got kiddos who work out, weight lift, I have a 4th grader who just doesn't eat great. Like he doesn't love to eat good things, just putting it out there. And so I have him, drink Pure Protein Complete every day, but especially for your athletes or for your guys or ladies who play sports, this is going to be a really good one. So let me tell you about Pure Protein Complete. So it is a comprehensive protein supplement. It's got 5 different types of protein, a full spectrum of amino acids. It's got 25 grams of protein per serving. So and it's delicious. There's a chocolate, that's this one, or there's a vanilla flavor that's also really yummy. So the 5 proteins are goat and cow whey, pure protein, egg white protein, and organic hemp seed. So if for some reason your kiddo cannot tolerate dairy, there's other protein replacement, like protein supplements that Young Living has, like Sleek, for instance, that can be a really great one too. I personally love all of them, but this one's for sure the favorite in the house, just because the chocolate is delicious. And let me just tell you, when you make this, it's like a piece of cake, so easy to make. You pair the chocolate with a couple drops of peppermint, and then it's like a chocolate, like a peppermint patty. Oh my goodness. It's like you have to like reel them in because they're going to want to eat it all the time. So one of the reasons why I love this supplement is not only is it high in the protein and high in amino acids, which is really important, especially for athletes working out, right? I love that the whey is hormone free. So we don't do milk with hormones or dairy products with hormones. Like, we try to avoid that stuff as much as possible. That's the same with this. It also has something called ATP. So ATP, it's got the apple extract. It basically helps to convert energy within the body. So it's great, again, for everyone, whether you've got a little, like my guy's been drinking it since he was in preschool, all the way up to, I like to drink it, but well into your 50s, 60s, 70s, you could be drinking it as well. It's really delicious. This is what I do. 1 to 2 scoops, okay, and like 1 cup of water or milk, add some ice. I like to do some frozen bananas too, 2 drops of peppermint. It is delicious. I'm going to tell you, especially if you've got kiddos who like to go to Jack in the Box, McDonald's, we've got In-N-Out here in California, right? They like to get those shakes, Dairy Queen. This is going to be the thing that converts them. I'm all about like, let's find a healthy alternative. I don't know if you're this way too, but that really helps my teens. I'm like, look, this or this, right? So this is a really healthy alternative that you can do. And then if you want to level this up, what you can do is you can add this to it. So this is multigrains. Again, on that sort of line of, it's sometimes really hard to get teenagers and middle schoolers to eat healthy, especially eating their vegetables. I really love multigrains. So multigrains, this is the hack, okay? So this Pure Protein Complete, okay? When I'm making this shake, you know what I do, what I put inside? I take these multigrain capsules. Do you see this? You can open it and put it into the shake. I do 2 to 3 of them in the shake itself, and that's how I serve it up to each of my kids. So they're basically getting a green supplement along with their protein all in one. So think about, gosh, that's really like replenishing everything, especially after a workout. After, my middle son, who's going to be a freshman, played a doubleheader in football, right, on Friday, like he was beat. He was so tired. And I was like, here you go, honey, drink your Pure Protein Complete. So what I love about multigrains is it's a green supplement. Let's think about this. How many vegetables, how many salads, how many greens are your middle schoolers and high schools really eating? Probably not as much as they really should be, right? I remember I was a teen myself. That was not something I was thinking about. I was thinking about burgers and fries all the time. So this is a really great way to make sure that they're getting a balanced diet. So it's got spirulina, alfalfa sprouts, bee pollen, barley grass, kelp, and essential oils. And this really does help to supplement, right? Like, of course, eating whole foods and greens are going to be healthy, but this is another way that you can do it. Or if they just want to take the capsules with some water, they can do that too. Okay, I have a couple more supplements I wanted to talk about, and these are like replacement supplements. Again, with this age group, right, they're wanting to be young adults. And so I feel like showing them the healthy options are a really great thing to do. So one thing that I like to do is show them, don't do the sugary energy drinks. I feel like this is the age group where they're really starting to get into it, and it drives me nuts. My husband was actually addicted to these energy drinks too, and it wreaked havoc on his digestive system. It caused all kinds of issues. So let me show you. There's a couple of supplements from Young Living that I love. One is called Ninja Zing. So this is probably the best sort of like replacement for like an energy drink, because it's like refreshing and bubbly, like it's kind of like a 7-Up. And so I've just told my kids, okay, you can do one. You can have one a day, one every other day, right? And this is what we do because we don't want to do soda or energy drinks. But let me just tell you, it's got wolfberry puree, which is the same thing as Ningxia Red, which Allison was talking about. It has a little bit of caffeine, 35 milligrams. I'm okay with that because do you know what the equivalent of 35 milligrams is? It's like a cup of green tea. It's maybe 1/4 of the amount of caffeine that's in 1 cup of coffee. So it's very, very minuscule. If you've not looked to see how much caffeine is in a soda, right, or in an energy drink, you'll be totally floored, right? It's probably like 500 times the amount of caffeine. So we like to do this as like a replacement. And it just has like this really yummy, bubbly flavor to it, like a Sprite, but it's got lime and black pepper essential oils. So it's really good. The other thing that can be really great, especially if you've got a kiddo who's doing like cross country, right? Or maybe they are playing 2 sports, they're doing heavy lifting, things like that. I really like nitro. So nitro is another option. So great for energy replacement. It's also got ginseng. It's got ATP, just like our Pure Protein Complete has. Again, it's got about 30 milligrams of caffeine per tube. Again, like the Zing, it's about the equivalent of like a cup of green tea. It's also got B vitamins in it. So just, an option, especially if you've got a kid who like wants to reach for the energy drink. I really love to have the solutions to swap out instead. Okay, before I hand it over to Wendy, I just wanted to say one more quick thing that I love for teenagers. Okay, you guys, can I just tell you, skincare, because I feel like the kiddos are struggling with acne at this age, okay? I wish I had this when I was a teenager because I struggled so much. My skin was awful, probably because of all the French fries and all the other junk I was eating. So if you get them on Pure Protein Complete, getting them taking their multigreens, you're already getting them one foot in the door of like getting clearer skin because it's better nutrients. But let me just show you real quick. Orange Blossom Face Wash, fantastic for teenage skin, okay? Helps to remove the dirt and the oil from pores. Tested by dermatologists, reduces oil on the skin, right? And it's really good for sensitive skin too. And then the acne treatment. So instead of using the ones from the store, do this one instead. It's got the salicylic acid, tea tree, and manuka oils. Again, great for preventing acne as well as treating acne. And it also has willow bark, which helps to improve the skin, especially like where the acne marks were. So both of these, no sulfates, no petrochemicals, no synthetic fragrances, no parabens, like all the stuff that you would want them to use on their skin. Like this is it, rather than the junky stuff from the drugstore that can leave their skin so much worse and exposes them to just crazy chemicals that you don't want them anywhere near. So that's it for my middle schoolers and my teenagers. I'm going to pass this off to Wendy now to talk about our young adult and college age.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy. Always full of tons of information, you guys. This has been a really fun call. So I'm going to roll on the heels of Tracy there, and I'm going to talk about college, young adult, as we grow up our kids, right? So I just had my 18-year-old just moved out. She's an overachiever. She's running a business. She's an entrepreneur. She's crazy go-getter. So she just moved out because she can at 18. And it's been important for me to send her off with the right tools, right? So it's important that we raise them knowing, right, how to take care of themselves in a natural way. And she's learned well. So one of the things that I think is a great send off for them is rather than getting her an entire kit, I send her off with pre-made rollers, okay? Because it's easier and they're really simply labeled. Throat, cough, focus, sleep, immune, something really simple for them to understand and roll with. And then she also has a diffuser that I like to send. You can make bombs for them, you guys. Again, so they can call you and text you and what have you, but it's really nice to give them their equipment to roll with because, maybe they don't always want to call you, or maybe it's late at night and you don't want them calling you, right? So sending them off with diffuser bombs that can also say the same thing, super simple topics, focus or stress or immune, things like that. We can pop some in the comments if you guys need some ideas. But like I said, I keep it simple: throat, cough, sleep, tummy, stress, immune, things like that. So it keeps really keeps it basic. I really like the kit that Allison had showed earlier. The kids roll-ons. They have a kids sense, right? That's for little people, but it's for big people too, you guys. A great one to buy for your college age kids or your kids who have just moved out, because it's keeps it really basic, but it hits all the corners of everything that they're going to face. So I really like those. Another thing I liked to send my girl off with was our kids have to focus on their immune system. You guys have taught them this in their entire lives, I'm sure. But one of the things that our immune systems, God made our bodies to handle everything, okay, that's going to come our way. The thing that we usually have to focus on are those things that we're like low in, okay? So one of my things that I like to focus on, my daughter she runs a surf camp at the beach down in Huntington, and they're out in the sun a lot and they're running and they're surfing and they're super active. And so one of the big things for her is to stay hydrated. All right. And being in the sun, especially. So there's a few supplements I want to talk to you guys really quick about hydration. All right. So we have a few. We have amino eyes that you guys can see up here. We also have these little packets that I love. They're alkaline. And mind you guys, all these products are so multifaceted. It's crazy. All right. And then we also have our vitality drops that I love. Now, these are super easy to throw in a backpack. All right. Maybe not this one so much, but these are, and they're really great. So these are going to be focusing on our minerals, okay? Minerals within our body make our heart run, make our immune system run, make our cell functions work, okay? If our cells can't work, nothing else can work, because it's like the ground, right? The ground level, and everything goes up from there. So amino wise has magnesium, zinc, potassium, sodium. Alkaline has calcium, sodium, potassium. So those are going to help keep our pH up in our body, going to keep our minerals set, and that's going to help build your immune system. Okay. When we have those functioning in a great way, our immune system is going to be bolstered and it's going to be stronger. So I really like those to keep them well. It's also a great thing to send off with your kids, because if they do fall below the wellness line, most of the time when we are sick, we're not getting enough liquid, and that liquid can't just be water, because if we drink too much water, we can actually deplete our body of minerals, okay, and electrolytes, and we need all those potassium, sodium, magnesium, all that for every single cell to function in our body. So I really like this when I'm sending my kids off, or if they're sick or something, I can say, hey, put this in your water, make sure you're drinking this. So super basic and super easy. If these taste funky to the kids, they can add it with the Ninja and put it in a drink, okay? So I love those. All right, I'm gonna try to zoom through this because I'm trying to hit everything. Really quick for energy, I love, Tracy talked about the Ninja Zing, and I have Nitro, and I don't have, oh, I do, I have my Nitro right here. Nitro are really great packets for energy. These, they can go right in your purse, and I love them. And so is the Super B. I'm waiting for my Super B to be delivered because it was out of stock and I got a ton of bottles. But Super B is really great for energy as well. And again, all these things, you guys, are going to help bolster your immune system, which keeps you well, right? So, and you want your kids well, especially if they're not at home. All right. All right. I covered that. Two, I'm going to actually go backwards. I'm going to go from the adults and I'm going to go into teachers, but I'm going to cover two more supplements that I want you guys to know about. So vitamin D is super duper important, especially with everything going on right now in our world. Vitamin D helps our bodies. So if we're taking things that are, you know, electrolytes and things like that, minerals, they actually help, vitamin D helps our body to process calcium and magnesium and phosphorus, okay? And it keeps our bones healthy, our teeth healthy, our heart healthy, our muscles, everything stays healthy with that. It also helps to boost your immune system, as vitamin D stops stuff from entering your cell, okay? If something can't break into your house, it can't hurt you, okay? If it can break into your house, you're at risk, right? So vitamin D helps to keep things out of your cells. So it's really good to stay up on your vitamin D. It also helps our happy hormone, serotonin, stay at healthy levels. And so many kids right now are, due to our times, if they're separated from a lot of people, they tend to be really sad, right? And there's a lot of depression and things like that and junk like that going on. So vitamin D is super duper important. So we have a super vitamin D that is a chewable. It's vegetarian. It comes from vegetable sources. So it's amazing. It's super easy to take. You take 2 of them, they dissolve in your mouth, easy peasy, done. All right. Another one that's really important for college age or all kids, I say, and people, grown-ups, is inner defense. Inner defense is I have them right here with me. Inner defense is a capsule that is made by Young Living. My family prefers them over the ones that I make, like my homemade ones like this, right? I like my homemade ones. They like these. So whatever, I buy the inner defense for them. But it's super, it has amazing oils in it: oregano, thyme, lemongrass, leaves, clove, lemon, eucalyptus radiata, rosemary, and cinnamon. So you guys, these are like immune system powerhouses, okay? This is something we only take when we're not feeling well, okay? If we dip below the wellness line, we feel something coming on, we're gonna take this, all right? My kids all know, if one person in our family, we have 5, well now 4 since one moved out. When one person starts feeling funky, everybody starts taking these. All right, because we don't want it to run through the household or anything like that. And so this is a great one to have to send off with your college age kid, or just to have in your closet at home, your wellness cupboard, if you will. All right, so I'm going to roll into teachers and parents, okay? Because if we're sick as a parent, it's just no good, okay? And I'm a teacher. I teach high school, and I also teach elementary. And I'm telling you, I am like around a ton of sick people, especially little kids, all the time. And since starting Young Living and doing this wellness routine, I stay above the wellness line. It's pretty fantastic. All right, so I want to mention a few things to you guys. Get ready to write these down, okay? Because I'm going to throw a few at you. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys about immunity, emotions, focus, cleaning, and some supplements to help with that, okay? All right, so immune, okay? Every single day, I make a roller and I roll it on me and my kids, because again, I am the first line of defense. If they get sick, then I get sick. Do you guys follow me? So I get myself first and then I get them. So I am big on, I put my kids, when they go to bed at night, I go and I say prayers with them, even though they're getting big, because that's my time to connect with them, because we're so busy, and I get to hear what's in their heart and what's bugging them or what they're concerned about. And while I'm doing that and listening, I get to tickle their backs, and I put this oil all along their spine. So I make a big bottle, and I have these throughout my house. I just use one of my old 15 mLs, and I buy the little roller fitments from the from Young Living. And in my wellness roller, I pop in thieves, oregano, tea tree, lemon, and frank. All right, this is my thing that I love to roll with. All right, I also throw in here, I put in some like lavender or orange or vetiver, something that helps like promote sleep. And then the one that Tracy was talking about, I put Endoflex in here as well. All right, so this is my one-stop shop, and I attack my kids with this. Okay, so once a day they get this along their spine, and so do I. I put it on my feet at night, every single night, and it helps me to stay above the wellness line. So consistency is the key, you guys, when you're talking about immune health. So like I said, I do this every night. And if I get sick, I'm going to be putting this on every 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, and I'm going to go specific. If it's my throat that's bugging me, I'm going to put this near my throat. If it's my chest, I'm going to put it on my chest. Okay. And please remember that we're looking at the big picture here. Okay. So you're looking at sleep, you're looking at stress, you're looking at diet, and you're looking at your gut health, because all of it's going to play in. All right. I'm not going to take a bunch of oils and then go eat a donut. Okay. Because it's just going to cancel each other out. Right. So I teach my kids that too. Like, don't waste taking something good and then putting something bad in because they cancel each other out. All right. So that was my wellness one I wanted to talk to you guys about. So that's for immune health. Sleep health, you guys. Sleep, we have a sleep health, okay? If you're not sleeping, then your body is not able to restore and rebuild and re-energize, okay? And without that, it's like driving a car without any gas in it. It's not going to go very far, and you're going to burn it up and you're going to do some damage to it. So sleep is super duper important. I have a sleep roller. Well, I told you guys, I put everything within my little roller right here, so it kind of like hits everything. But two things that I also do at night, I usually do one or the other. I don't do them both, but I love ImmuPro is my go-to everything. I will not be without this, especially during school, because again, being around kids, I am like, they're like a cesspool of sickness. Okay. And, this is my lifesaver. So it helps you to calm down at night. It helps you to sleep. It has a little bit of melatonin. It's like a little over 4 milligrams of melatonin, and it's non-addictive. So don't freak out if you've heard, like have fears over melatonin, but it also has mushrooms in it. And the mushrooms are adaptogens. So that means they go in and they help your body where they need help. Okay. Especially your immune system. So get it ImmuPro. It's a pro at keeping your immune system up. All right. Love that stuff. Allison mentioned Unwind, which is great. It has that big, nice dose of magnesium in there. And it also has 5-HTP, which helps your body build serotonin if you're lagging or lacking in making that, which we can do that because we're on computers and stuff like that all the time, and it stops the production of it. Okay. So those are my go-tos for sleep because we need some help with sleep. Okay, emotions. The girls already mentioned Kid Sense, the power or Kid Power, love it. And they also mentioned Valor, but no one mentioned yet Stress Away. Okay, Stress Away is my go-to that when I'm stressing out, I lather this stuff on myself. All right, so Stress Away is a really great one that can help at night. It's going to help you sleep, and during the day, it's going to help you de-stress. So your body knows, depending on where the sun is, because God made our bodies to do that. It's going to know whether to help shut your brain down or wake your brain up or mellow it out. All right. Because that's how our body is. It's amazing. Okay. Focus, you guys. I have like, you know, attention problems. I have since I was little. And I so wish my mom would have known about oils. Okay. Because I was that kid who was on Ritalin forever. Right. So I make a roller now of a focus roller, and that helps me. But I also like, so I make my own, but Young Living has some really good ones, and the Kid Sense, I don't have it with me. Allison can show it to you guys. The Genius is really amazing for focus for kids who are squirrely. Now, normally boys are super squirrely. I teach little kids, and that's just the way boys are. Okay. So they can benefit from that, but they're still going to be squirrely because that's how God made them. Okay. Brain Power is really great too. Cedarwood and vetiver are amazing for helping us to focus. And Frank and Rosemary too. My high school students, you guys, I diffuse in my room thieves and rosemary every single day. Stress away during exams because it helps them de-stress. Rosemary helps us to retain information. I cannot tell you enough the benefits of rosemary. Go research it. But for kids, have it in your diffuser at all times. Anybody, little or big, it helps them to retain what they learn. All right. One of the big things for my daughter going into our new apartment has been cleaners. Okay. She's going in with a friend who kind of knows natural stuff, but my daughter knows more. And so it's been big for me to send them off with thieves. It's huge as a cleaner for everything. You send them with one bottle, one spray bottle, tell them how to make it. It's super easy. It's 1 cup, 2 water. There's not anything difficult. Okay. And they can clean everything. They can clean themselves. They can clean their counters. They can clean their floors. That's all they need is their thieves. Okay. Super important. In my room, in my classroom, I use thieves. Actually, at my whole school, I have we make thieves DIY wipes that we wipe everything down with, and we only use thieves because remember the chemical impact that cleaners and things like that have upon our immune systems. They dash it, you guys, really, really bad. So it's really important to keep your lives clean, your home, your school, your everything. So bless your teachers, you guys. If you have kids in public school, take them a bunch of DIY wipes and say, hey, I'll do this every month for you. It seriously costs pennies, and you know that they're, you just have that well-being to know that your kids are being safe, right? And they're not getting that Clorox crap put all over them, right? Or on their desk where they soak it in. Okay. And really, I know I probably went over my time, but supplements, you guys, are big supplements for our house, being a teacher and a mom and students and all that. We have Ninja, we do Sulfurzyme and Life 9. Okay. So gut health, you're going to have the Life 9 is going to be probiotics. You have Ninja Red, which is an antioxidant, and it helps with gut health. And then Sulfurzyme. Sulfurzyme has MSM in it, and it goes into every single cell in your body, and it makes it work its very best. As Tracy was talking about teens, it helps with skin, hair, nails. Everybody can benefit from this, and it helps your immune system and your digestive system. It's a win-win. So awesome Blossom. I am passing this off to Miss Amy, and she is going to tell us some awesome DIY stuff. Thanks, you guys.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So, alrighty. So I'm going to go over a couple things actually. Thanks for everybody for being here tonight, because I know it's a little bit late on our side on the East Coast. So thank you for staying up with us, since we're trying to get on the routine of going to bed early, and it's now 10 o'clock here. So that's okay. If our kids are sleeping, we get a reprieve, right? So I'm going to go over a couple of things first that are like healthy snacks that Young Living has. They're like you can just get them pre-made, and then we're going to make a snack real quick because it's one of our favorites that we've made plenty of times, and they're good for throwing in the freezer, or you can put them in the refrigerator for lunch. We actually started doing this because my nephew is a terrible breakfast eater. He just he hates breakfast, and he would get sick on the bus because he doesn't eat in the morning, and then he would get like car sick on the bus. So we're going to go over a couple of different things that we do here at our house with my little nephew, who's 8. He's going into 3rd grade this year. So the first thing is that we have that we're going to look at is the wolfberry crisps. These are delicious. You probably will have to hide them because they will eat an entire box of these in one sitting. And you may have to hide them from yourself because you will probably eat a whole box of these in one sitting. They are delicious. They taste like a candy bar, but they're really, really good for you, actually. There's 4 grams of fiber in these, and there's 6 grams of protein in every bar. So they're a really good little snack for them, say when they're coming home from school, or if you want to throw it in their lunchbox for lunch, or, if they have a snack time still. These are a great little thing to throw in there. And then this is another thing that my nephew, who's a very picky eater, actually does enjoy. These are the protein bites. They're protein power bites, and they're just little things. I'm not going to open one because they're great for breakfast. They're great for lunch. They're great for after school. I mean, these are just great for any time. Like, even if they are not big eaters, or if they are big eaters and you're trying to curb that, whatever it is, and if they're sports kids and they need something that is going to give them a little bit of a boost, these are just awesome little things to have around. Blueberry lemon is the flavor, which sounds like it might be a little bit odd. They are delicious. You'd be really surprised at what the taste is of these. And they have like almost like a yogurt type coating on them. So these are 2 things that we always have in the house too. Like I said, we hide them because otherwise they wouldn't be here all the time. These protein bites have 12 grams of protein per little bar. Actually, you can eat 2 of these for the 12 grams. So like one of them has 6 grams. So they're a really good supplemental type protein source as well. Then this is one. This is like a hit or miss thing because we have a lot of kids that just come and hang out at my house. Our neighbors have 5 kids, and then there's neighbors up the road that have children, and they just all kind of come and congregate at our house. Some of the kids love these, some of them don't, but when you put them in something like yogurt, or you put them on ice cream or something, you know, like a healthy yogurt or healthy ice cream, something like that, they love these. These are the wolf berries. I don't know if you can see them real well, but they're almost like a raisin. You can see them. And I love these. Like, I'll sit and eat a bunch of these in one sitting just as a snack. And if you're bakers, they're great for baking too. Like good in muffins, good on oatmeal. Yeah, I think somebody just said, I think you said, Wendy, that you put them in oatmeal. They're really good in oatmeal. And they are super antioxidants. If you've heard about the Ninja, that is what makes our Ninja all red. And that's what our Ninja, it's the main source of our Ninja as well. So in a quarter cup of these Ninja berries, there is 560 grams of potassium, which is obviously something you definitely need in your body. You need potassium for, you need magnesium and potassium in your body for almost every cellular function in your body. So when you put this in, this is going to give you almost everything you need in a day. With this in the Ninja, you can get just about all of your daily source of your potassium for a day. Also has calcium and vitamin D and iron, and there's also 5 grams of protein in this as well. So we have these. Jason, my little nephew, who is the picky eater, he actually does like these. Everything I'm showing you is actually picky eater approved. He eats all of the things I'm showing you, so that's a good thing. And then we have, what you can see is almost gone because he's eaten almost the entire bag, is the einkorn granola. This is delicious too. You can use this as cereal. You can put this, you know, if you want to make this into like a cereal and put milk over it or anything like that, you can do that. You can make this into an oatmeal as well. If you do like the overnight oats and you put it into like a warm milk and then sit it in the fridge, you can make an overnight oats with this as well. This is made with einkorn flour, which is it is an ancient grain, so it isn't as full of gluten as what the white flour would be. So it's a lot healthier than what you would see like the white flour or the white grained cereals or anything like that would be. So it's a good option. It's a good alternative to like your store-bought cereals. And like I said, since he's not much of a breakfast eater anyway, and he is kind of got a sweet tooth, this has been a good option for him because this gives him something that he'll eat versus like the Fruit Loops and things like that are just packed with sugars and artificial colors and things of that nature. So we have that. So then I think we talked already about the little Ninja, we talked about Ninja, and then we have the Ninja packets. You throw these in the freezer and then take it out right before when you first get up in the morning. Then when they get ready to go to school, everyone throws this in their lunchbox. These are just like a little bit slushy by the time they get ready to eat them. And it makes it almost like a little slushy pop for them, or us, because I do this on almost a daily basis where I'll eat one of these things because they're in the freezer and they're there because they're delicious and I can eat a whole box of these. But these are one of his favorite things. He asks for Ninja every single day. And it's the same thing where we have to more or less curb how many he takes, because he will continually, if we don't put it in a spot where we know where they are, he will drink Ninja before he'll drink water, and he doesn't even like soda anymore. That's a good thing because he was a little bit getting on a trend where he would drink a lot of soda. It's Ninja now, which is super. So you've got these. So we're going to make a couple different things here. First thing we're going to make is, using a couple of things we just showed you, is a Ninja parfait. This is the thing that we put in the freezer at nighttime, or we can make a couple of them and put them in the freezer, and then we'll take it out either at night. We'll take it out and put one in the freezer, in the refrigerator, and then you can have it for breakfast. Super easy to make. we just keep like Greek yogurt on hand because all of us will eat Greek yogurt for all different types of things. And I don't really measure anything because I'm not a measurer for anything. As long as it cooks or bakes or looks pretty, then apparently I use the right amount. That's the way I go about it. So, so we just use a little bit of the Greek yogurt. These cups with these lids, if you go to Walmart or even like Amazon, I think the last place I got them was Amazon, and I think I got 100 of them for $7. I don't even know if it was that much, but even at Walmart, they have these little cups with these little things, are like 5.5 ounces for, I think it's 25 for $1. So, and you can wash them and reuse them. So they're kind of a good option too, just so you know. So I just scoop a little bit of this in. And if you want, which we've done this before, you can put a little bit of Ninja in this and whip that up into that, and that flavors your yogurt if they're not a fan of just regular plain Greek yogurt. And we've done this too, where we'll use a little bit of the Vitality Drops, which this is, I think, this one, and there's another flavor too, the tangerine mint. This is a good one too for this particular recipe, but I'll put a little bit of this in. Just a tad. And just get a little stir. And then if you have any like frozen berries or fruit that you have like mixed up or anything, I just cut up a couple of strawberries quick because I had them. They're good to just throw in there on top. You can throw those on top there if you want to. If not, you don't really need them. That was just a little addition because I'm going to put them in the freezer for him to eat in the morning. But then I take a scoop of the Ningxia berries and I throw them on top of the yogurt, just enough to make sure that it's got a good coating on there, because that kind of rehydrates the berries while it's in the yogurt. And then if you want to do this, you can. If you don't, if you like your granola really good and crunchy, you can wait and do this when you take it out, or you can put it in now. He likes it a little bit soft, so I always put it in now, and then it's actually all ready for him too. He can just grab it right out of the freezer and get it himself. He does it anyway, but, and then you put that in. Put your cap on. And it's got a little parfait. And you just put it in the freezer. And like I said, it's really a good snack. And it's actually quite filling too. We've made these quite a few times. And they're really good too. If you want to, you can throw them in the blender, or a couple of them too, even if you want to, but throw them in the blender and make smoothies out of these as well. If they're frozen or if they're not frozen, you just make smoothies out of them and they are delicious. And let's see. So that's one thing I want to show you. One other thing I was going to show you was this. I'm going to make a little roller ball that we do for him. This doesn't have anything to do with snacks necessarily. It kind of does, because when he was not eating and he was getting sick on the bus, he was, this was something we were doing for him almost every day until we realized, oh, maybe he needs to eat, because we were thinking maybe he wasn't, you know, we didn't want him to eat and get sick on the bus more. But because he just kept saying he wasn't hungry. However, we found out, no, he has to eat or he does get sick. So that we ruled that out. It was about a 3-month process before we figured out what the deal was with him, but we did get down to the bottom of it. One thing is that I will show you, if you have kids that have, you know, that problem with the belly, and the digestion issue, or if they have issues with car rides, whatever the case is, these two little guys right here have been lifesavers for him. We'll put a little bit of peppermint, a little bit of Digize. It's the Digize Vitalities we usually use, but I didn't have that one on hand right now. So, but we'll take a drop of each one, put it in a glass with some water and either some honey or agave syrup, and stir it all up. And he just sips on that a little bit before he goes to school if he's not feeling so great in the morning, because just sometimes he's not, because he gets a little anxious or whatever the case is. And we call it the belly buster drink, because that kills pops the belly bubbles, he says. So that fixes that for him. But that's just something I wanted to tell you about. And then this little guy here is the roller I want to make for you real quick. So we have this CBD oil that has, it's what we call smart spectrum, which means that it doesn't have any THC in it. It is a base that has no oils in it either. It's basically, it's just the CBD with nothing else in it. So what we have to do is add our own custom oil to it to make it our own, or we can put our own oil in it to customize it. So what we do is we put Kid Power in it, and it makes it like his own little custom roller. And we put it in a pretty little roller bottle that's his favorite colors of blue, and he calls it red, but it's really pink because he's colorblind and he can't see those colors. So he doesn't know, we don't tell him. He thinks they're red. But so what we do is we do 10 drops of this. It might take, oh, we'll do 5 because, well, then we'll do 10. It'll come out faster. But what this does is, the CBD has, it's just got so many different, I think I just did more than 10, that's okay. The CBD has so many different things that it can help with. For him, what we found is that it does give him a sense of calming, and it does help him kind of calm down with his anxiousness and whatnot. But the Kid Power is like the kid's version of valor. It's like a bravery and courage and self-esteem, and that's also kind of like a sense of, it's a little bit of a encouragement, but also a sense of calming, because it just gives them a little bit of an empowerment all in together. So when you mix the two together, it's just like this boost of help for him. And that's been a big help for him getting through some different things that he had struggled with just as a kid, I guess. Just things kids go through, you know, having to go to a different grade and things like that. When he went through, of course, like they were talking before, with being not as exposed to as many people on a daily basis or whatever the case is. So this type of thing kind of can help out a lot. So with this particular roller, I only do a quarter dropper for him, just because if he needs more, we'll do, if he needs more than that, we have another roller that we use. It's called the CBD Calm roller, and we'll just roll that on as he needs it. And then this is like his main one. And then this is the V6 oil, which is like a carrier oil. And then we add this up to here. What this does, I don't think we talked about this yet. What this does is that it gives the oils a chance to absorb into the skin, so that, I lost my top. This will work. There we go. And then we're just going to give it a little bit of a shake back and forth. But what that carrier oil does is then that gives that a chance to absorb into the skin, just kind of holds it in place, so that, because the oils will just evaporate more or less. So that carrier oil gives it a chance to absorb into the skin and kind of do its magic without getting too sciencey. There you go. And then what he likes to do is he likes to roll it here. This is his favorite place here, and on his neck. And I think that's it. I think that's all I had for you for now. I'm not sure who I was going to, but maybe, no, I'm not sure.
Hey,
Rachel.
hey, thank you, Amy. Those are really great tips. I think we
It was
forget
awesome.
about the nutrition part of back to school. I mean, I know I do because there's so much going on, but these are great tips. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to just give you one quick hack that I like to do really fast. And this is how to apply the oils to your kids. I have a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And one of the things we did today is we made perfume. My girls wanted perfume, so I did 3/4 of the way witch hazel, and then the rest distilled water. And then we added kid power. And so now my girls have a perfume that they're going to be spraying on every day. And then I also, at night, I like roller bottles, guys, because I give them to my kids to take to school, but I like to drench my kids. Like I need oils dripping on them. Like I need to be able to rub in like liquid. I don't know how many of you will roll. Like I need to have liquid like dripping through my fingertips to rub them with. So what I like to do is get these dropper bottles, and then I put a whole bottle of white Angelica in here and top it with Carrier. And this is our sleepy time oil, and I rub it on the bottoms of their feet at night. Or you could also get a pump bottle. You can get these off of Amazon and do whatever mixture of oils you want to do, and then fill it with Carrier oil. And then when they're at the breakfast table, I just pump a squirt, rub all over them, squirt, rub all over them, squirt, rub all over them, and they're done. You can also get the V6 from Young Living and add whatever oils you want to that. So that's what I found really helpful for me in the school year, because I need lots of oils on them all at once, really fast. And I found that those are the fastest ways for me. So wrapping up, if you're new to Young Living, maybe you're just kind of listening in this call to get some ideas. There are a couple ways to get started. So you're able to order anything off of the website, which is really awesome. So if you wrote down 4 things that you feel like you really need, you can actually order just those 4 things. If they reach 100 PV, the person that invited you to this call can explain to you what that means, and you are going to unlock the free shipping and the wholesale discount, which you'll have for the next 12 months, which is awesome. Or you could put it on a subscription if it's something that you feel like, okay, immunity is going to be a big deal. I think I really do want receives every 2 months. You can do that as well to unlock the wholesale discount. And then you get all of us. So these calls we have every month, we have an awesome community of people, so you're never alone. That's the cool thing about oils is it's not like buying a handbag and you walk out the store and you already know how to use your handbag. You can absolutely, we encourage you to educate yourself on essential oils, but the community is where you learn all the good stuff. And so where I've gotten probably 90% of my protocols is from other people and listening to their testimonials like tonight. So it really does matter who you get started with, because then you get plugged into the team they're affiliated with, and hopefully that is us. So get with the person who invited you to this call. And if you have any questions, please ask. Obviously, and this is the last thing I'll say, the easy button is a premium starter kit as well that has 12 oils. These oils have multiple uses, thousands of uses, and includes a diffuser, which I know we've talked about diffusing. I have a diffuser next to everyone's bed, and we diffuse all night. And so that starter kit gets you the wholesale membership. Literally, I'd say it's like one of the best ways to get started as well. And the price point is amazing. So I will kick it back to Tracy so she can close this out. And I'll just thank you again for joining us.
Okay, you guys, thank you again for being here with us tonight. We'll have the replay up for you in just a little bit. And please feel free to share this with people on your team, or even people who don't have oils or supplements yet from Young Living. This will be a really great place for them to learn more. And then you can just simply share your link so that they can start ordering themselves. Like, let's get everybody set off on the right foot for back to school routine. So thank you so much for joining with us. We do have a call in a couple of weeks in Oily Underground, so be sure you come and join for that one. Thanks to all the ladies who helped out tonight. You're amazing. So appreciate you all. Ashley, Rachel, Allison, Wendy, Amy. Love doing this with you. They are such a wealth of knowledge. Be sure to give them a shout out and tell them how much you appreciate it. You can also save the chat if you want to save the chat. It's the 3 little dots at the bottom. And that's going to be a wrap up. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good one.